The following program is rated D for dumb.
Baby left me, my best friend's not at home. Can't get that woman off my mind. I've never been the brooding kind, but there's still one thing makes me come alive. Yeah, I'm gone for a drive.
The following podcast is rated D for dumb. You're listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Listen to Dave commute to and from work on the New York State Thruway in his 2008 Kia Rio LX. He talks about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Join Dave as he asks and tells you how life ought to be. And now, here's Dave.
Well, hello everybody. My name is Dave Canyon. Are you ready to dumb it down? Well, that's good because I'm ready too, and I'm feeling up, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling energetic, and I'm eager and excited to do this bonus episode, bonus 172, I think it is, bonus 172, B-O-N-U-S, like bingo. B-O-N-U-S, 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 number 172. There you go. Yeah. Hey, thanks for tuning in, folks. Dave Canyon here. Real quickly, I want to thank Alex Exum for doing the intro voice there. Alex Exum, ALEXEXUM.com. And also Hal in Philly for doing the Going for a Drive song. He lets me use that song in different variations, and I'd like to give him thanks for that. Don't forget to listen to Hal in Philly do his podcast, Tales of the Road Warriors, which you can find on many different podcast platforms, and also his new podcast, It's Easy When You Know How. It's Easy When You Know How. You can find that on Spreaker, and I'm not sure where else. Tales of the Road Warriors, you can find on Stitcher. You can find that on Stitcher. All right. Do you know what Stitcher is? Well, you got to Google it and go to your app store, your Google Play or whatever, and download this. Stitcher is just like Spreaker, except it's Stitcher. I don't know. There's so many platforms. Too many platforms. Eventually, they're going to start gobbling each other up. They'll probably all start filing Chapter 11 because there's too many of them. One already bit the dust a couple of weeks ago. That was Podcoin. I never even got a chance to really get going with the Podcoin, but that's gone. All right, anyway, this is Dumbing It Down with Dave. We are on the New York State Thruway. It is 1:21 p.m. on a Saturday, November 15th. Why in the world would I be on the New York State Thruway northbound, just north of Catskill, where I just got on, in the middle of the day when I have to work? I worked last night and I have to work tonight. Why am I awake? Have I slept? These questions will be answered in just a second. Yeah, Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth, pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. And today, part of my pragmatism, part of my truth, part of my happiness and the search for it all is to sort of, I don't want to say make amends for episode 171, which I felt was a little lackluster. It wasn't. I looked back at it. I think I got a review that I hoped I get to, because that is the show I want to do. That seemed like they were a little disappointed in the show. But you know what? When you do 5 takes of a show, it's really hard to capture the original excitement of take 1, which, as far as I'm concerned, was a good enough show in the tradition of Dumbing It Down with Dave. And then it disappeared. And I tried my hardest, by the way, not to recapture anything really of take one of episode 171, because I've already been down that road, and I know you can't do it. So I'm seasoned enough to know, Dave, you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. Don't even try. Just do another show. But you know what? I'm trying to think of an analogy. Ever since I got this, I think what might be a negative review of 171 was that it's kind of like you put all this work into making a cake, this really grand cake, not just a one-layer yellow cake, like a cake, decorating like the guy on TV, and then you mess it up somehow. Whatever, I don't know. But the wedding is tonight. The birthday's today. It's in 2 hours. But now you got a big dimple. There's an error. There's a problem. You wrote the name wrong. Whatever. You didn't spell Tatiana the right way. Who does a cake for Tatiana? So you spell it with a Y instead of an I. Whatever. And then what are you gonna do? You gotta try to fix it. It's not the same thing. It's even harder with a podcast because this podcast is unscripted, and most of you could really appreciate that. I'm not sure if this one negative reviewer can appreciate the fact that this is an unscripted, off the top of my head, press the button and let her rip podcast. It's really a rare thing that a solo. Now, I haven't listened to all 500,000 or 750,000 podcasts all over the world. I know that in my travels, I have not come across more than 2 others that either do it or were doing it in their car and during their commute and stayed with it. One no longer exists, and the other one went. Actually, both of them went from the cars into the studios, and they weren't. One was okay in the car, and the other one was horrible. And then he ended up going to the house, and then he ended up doing it with his wife. And he's got some listeners, he's got some notoriety, but I could care less. But so I don't know. You like to think your idea is so great and so original, but the truth is, if there's 500,000 to 750,000 live podcasts going on any time in the world, or I think back in the day, last year it was 350,000. Chances are somebody in the world is doing a podcast during their commute. Are they doing a solo one? I don't know. Are they doing an unscripted one? I don't know. I know I am, and I'm proud of it. So some shows are better than others. That's just the way it goes. And after 172 episodes, I'm pretty sure everybody has their favorites. People have their least favorites. But what is the degree of difficulty in doing a podcast like this? You got to factor that in. You also got to factor in if you had a point system, if you had a criteria. Why am I shouting? If you had a criteria for podcasts, what would be your criteria? How would you rate it? I like to go by informative, compelling, and entertaining. I don't do comedy. For those of you that say, "Oh, that was funny," but you know that at this point, I don't do intentional comedy. I don't tell jokes. I don't really script anything. So my Davisms and all that other stuff just come out naturally. Whatever it is I'm going to say, whatever it is. So it was very difficult for me to do 5 takes of episode 171. And it bothered me emotionally because it's like a baby. It's like I had a baby, and I hate this, use the abort word, but the baby got stolen from me. How about that? Yeah, it's kind of like that. Really? Really, Dave? Your show is like a human? Yeah, it's like a human. My show is, I know songwriters. I'm sure Hal and Philly can agree, and Linda as well. When you create something, that's your baby. And somebody took away my baby. And then, in real life, you'd wait whatever you would wait, and then you would make another baby. But you're like, wow, this is kind of like my second baby, but it's kind of my first baby because the first baby got stolen, and now I'm on a second baby, and we could have had 2 babies, or maybe I never would have had the second baby, and the first baby was so beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a horrible analogy because of the sadness involved in thinking about, you had a baby and it got stolen, or, taken away in whatever way that babies get taken away. But it happens. People lose babies. So no, my podcast is not exactly the same as losing a baby, but I know that I was not expecting to lose it. That makes it even worse, because I had done this pattern so many times. I broadcast it, I get done 30 minutes later. I say goodbye, and then I immediately listen to it, and I'm still listening to it by the time I get to work because I don't have an hour. I only have 40 some odd minutes. So it's 30 minutes to record, and then I need time to listen. So it was a surprise when I hit the button and my show wasn't there. So, and I'm also disappointed for you because I like to, I know that every show I give it my best shot. And it's unscripted. There's no way of knowing how this is going to come out. So, there was so many different layers of disappointment when I hit the button and my show was gone. And then I couldn't find it. And it was like, oh my God. And it's kind of like in those movies where the parents go, Jimmy, Billy, and there's no Lassie. There's no Lassie go, woo, woo. Oh, he's in the well? Woo, woo. Down by the creek? Woo, woo. It doesn't work that way. I didn't have a Lassie. It's gone. This episode is gone. All right, is this recording? Thank God. My wife just called. You don't even know this. When I hit the Weather Channel the other day, it interrupted one of the takes. But when somebody calls, it pauses, but it doesn't shut off the thing, so it's still recording. Thank God. I'm 11 minutes into the show, and all of a sudden I hear ringing. I go, ringing? What's ringing? Oh, my phone. My wife called. We're missing one of the remotes. It's a life crisis here. Do you know where the small remote is? I don't know. I'm not home. I haven't been home since I left for work. Wednesday afternoon. Anyway, she can't find the remote. She's been without the remote. First world problems. It's in there. We always lose the remote. I don't know why we don't have whatever. We should attach it to a big stick like they do at the bathroom, the mobile station. Anyway, of course, I lost my place. But, all right. So we're halfway through, and I'm not doing the show I want to do. So,
Dave, dear, this is Emma. This is not the show you wanted to do.
You're absolutely right. So let's get to it, Emma. Let's get to it. All right? I want to just go over some of the comments from episode 171 because there were so many. And I think there was one in particular that was kind of negative. And I just want to discuss it. All right? My thing for the show is in this episode, which is actually episode 171, take 5, Dave takes you on a ride to Taco Bell for breakfast, talks about Hal in Philly song, the Hal in Philly song, Going for a Drive, and why this episode 171 takes 5, take 5, and about why this is episode 171 take 5, and about his company that he works for filing Chapter 11. All right, that's what the show is about, and let's go to the comments. There was 21 actually, including mine, and let me see. Oh, Hal Aaron was the first one to comment. Hal Aaron, Hal in Philly. Hey, Dave, don't feel bad about those late-night tacos. Many's the time I pulled into Tommy Burgers at 3 o'clock in the morning for a greasy chili burger with greasy chili fries right before I went to bed. You'll feel like a new man. I think that's the problem. That's why I'm so obese, because there's the old me and there's the new me on top of the old me. And then I responded to him because I was there when it came through. I wish this was late night, but it was early morning. But it's all the same when you work nights. A moment of weakness, but it was delicious, and I still passed out. I was concerned that I had all that food, but I fell asleep in the driver's chair. I barely even made it to the back of the caravan. All right, Patrick Mason, he writes a lot of comments. Most of them, if not all of them, are positive. Patrick Mason has been a very good supporter of the show, who comments quite often, not all the time, but quite often, and he's very funny most of the time when he writes. Sometimes I don't know if he's trying to be funny, but it's funny. All right, it's 11:03 p.m., and I'm ready to dumb it down. Oh, because I asked, are you ready to dumb it down? He writes, Dave Canyon, the repeater, which I think is Pat Mason's play on depleter, I think. Or he was just saying I'm a repeater. But I think he was addressing the fact that I call people depleters. And if not, then there you go, Patrick Mason, get a little extra credit. Patrick Mason writes, the best part about Taco Bell is what happens 4 hours later. Yeah, if I'm lucky, it's 4 hours. Sometimes it's like immediate. Ugh. Patrick Mason writes, yes, I think you want to write larger, but it says lager. So it might be lager, but we'll see. Yes, a larger cup of coffee with a quart of cream and a 5-pound bag of sugar. That's probably something I said during about whatever. Hey, Patrick Mason writes, Riley Green should sing that song. So after I read that, I looked up Riley Green on YouTube, and I only heard one song. I wasn't very impressed. But that doesn't mean he shouldn't sing it. I don't know Riley Green. Maybe Hal in Philly knows Riley Green. But he plays the guitar and he has a beard, wears a ball cap. Maybe he's the type of guy. I still think you can't pass John Fogerty. That's his name. I had a hard time with his name. Even though I had said it, I forgot it 2 seconds later. John Fogerty from Clarence Clearwater Revival. That song just reeks of CCR. Anyway, Patrick Mason writes, I can believe, or maybe he wanted to write, I can't believe you didn't say keep the change. Well, that's because I paid with a credit card. Patrick Mason wrote, I smoke so much I can smell my own breath. He likes that lyric. I do too. Jeff Warner, who commented for the first time in over 30 or 40 shows. I know because I went back. And Jeff Warner has not commented on the show. Apparently he's a fan. And apparently he listens. Apparently him and Patrick Mason, who are good friends, talk about this show. But I don't see a lot of Jeff Warner comments. Maybe he listens, and that's fine, by the way. I have to get used to that people will listen and not comment. And I have to be happy with that. But Jeff Warner does write, and I appreciate him writing anything. So I don't want you to think I don't appreciate it. 30 minutes of my day I can't get back. Not a good show tonight, but I do love that song, I'm Going for a Drive. So there's the negative review. And of course, that's the one that sticks out most in my mind. 30 minutes of my day, I can't get back. Not a good show tonight. You know what? Here's what happened. When I was out in Long Island, is when I read that review last night. And immediately, I said, well, I got to listen to the show again. Was it really that bad that Jeff Warner, who, by the way, for those of you that don't know, Jeff Warner is by far, not one of several reasons, is the only reason why anybody at my job knows about my podcast. Because for some reason, Facebook, when I don't want people to know about when I want people to, Facebook to tell people, it doesn't tell people. When I want Facebook to keep its mouth shut, it just goes blabbing over, hey, did you know? So it was Facebook, as far as I can remember, that reached out to, on its own, without me saying it, so I didn't pay for it. So, hey, Jeff, you know about your buddy Dave Canyon? You should listen to his podcast, whatever. Well, he got some sort of notification from Facebook. And then once Jeff Warner knew about it, oh my God, forget it. The whole world found out. Which, I would like you all to do, but not at my job. I enjoyed my double life. I enjoyed my secret life. And not because it's a secret, not because of any reason other than there's just no good that can come of my voice being recorded when I talk off the top of my head. No good can come of it at my job. My job thinks I'm a guy who drives a truck. My job doesn't know I'm creative. My job doesn't know my story. Now every other day there's some goofball going, oh, are you the guy with the podcast? Oh, it's very good. Hey, how's your podcast? Shut up. By the way, so I blame Jeff Warner, but I hold him responsible. I shouldn't say blame, because he told somebody, whoever he told. And then he didn't say, hey, don't say anybody that I told you, because I don't think Dave wants anybody. Because when Jeff asked me, I kind of poo-pooed, like, yeah, whatever. He said, oh, you got a podcast? I don't know. Yeah, you know. I'm like, all right, Jeff, whatever. What is this? What is it, congressional hearing? What are you, Adam Schiff? Little Adam? What is it, the Mueller investigation? Is it the Warner investigation? I do a podcast. Leave me alone. He told Pat Mason, whatever. Actually, the whole world. Richie, this guy knows, that guy knows. There's all these other goofballs passing me in the yard. Hey, are you the guy on the podcast? Leave me alone. Because it's my job. If it was out in the blue, oh yeah, how you doing? Oh, you listen? Thank you. That's nice of you. Thank you. But at my job, it's like, no, there's no good will come of this. I'm surprised I haven't gotten a letter in the mail saying, cease and desist or something like that. By the way, I gotta check the time. I gotta be almost. Oh, really? 19 minutes? Wow, I'm shocked. I thought we'd be way over. All right. So he likes the song Going for a Drive. Good for Hal. Wasn't happy with the episode. You know what, Jeff? I recommend you re-listen. Because I re-listened, and you know what? It's good. It has all the components. There's a Davism or two in there. There's some, I take you through the drive-through. There's no podcast in the world, which, by the way, they tell us all the time. The podcasting gurus of the world. If your show does something different that no other show does, you should emphasize that. And if you like it, or if people like it, or it's successful, you should do it again. So I could have just hit the pause button. But it was interesting to take you through the drive-through. And the fact that I was repeating myself as a joke, and then the guy who didn't know I was doing that says, oh, can you say that again? Can you repeat yourself? And I thought that was kind of funny. Not funny, haha, but funny, interesting. Pat Mason wrote, Dave Canyon, the new host of The Voice, probably because I was doing some single. Patrick Mason writes, The Milestone. I'm telling you, man, I'm going to beat that thing until Milestone is played out. Patrick Mason, the search for it all, if we can get to it. That might have been a little sarcastic. Not really sure. Or maybe, I don't know, I don't get the sense that Pat said that sarcastic. Only because Pat's been so nice to me. Really. Him and Linda. Just two fantastically nice people. Joe Foley's always nice when he chimes in. He's very busy with his life and his kid and his podcast. He's got a whole bunch of things going. But when he chimes in, he's always very nice. Matt Neff, who you don't see commenting here often, Matt Neff from the Entre Nito podcast, also very, very nice. But Patrick Mason has been nothing but nice. And the couple of times he's been not complimentary, he's been very constructive in his criticism. Doesn't say things like, well, that's 30 minutes, I'll never get back. Never says things like that. All right, Linda Irwin wrote, hello, Dave and Emma. Thank you, Linda. Nice to see you. Patrick Mason writes, 6 hours after Taco Bell, you can do a new fart show. See, that's funny. Yeah, Fart Like a Bandit show? Yeah, I'll do that show, a special show in the parking lot of the Taco Bell. And if I have to go to the bathroom, I'll take you in with me. There's a good reverb in the bathroom at Taco Bell. I'll do some singing. Maybe I'll do some a cappella. I'll do Going for a Drive a cappella. 6 hours after Taco Bell, you can do a new fart show. That's great. Patrick Mason writes, Dave, don't drink that drink. I'm not sure why, but Patrick Mason writes, today was a milestone show. You forgot to thank Linda Irwin. Not true. Not true. 8 minutes and 50 seconds in, I thanked everybody. Then Linda Irwin, which kind of surprised me, first of all, that Pat Mason was able to squeeze in 3 or 4 comments in between, because Linda usually goes rapid fire, bang, 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 and she's got like 5 or 6 of them. But in this particular, you guys must have been listening at the same time, because she wrote, hello, Dave and Emma, and then Patrick came in with a couple of comments, and now Linda comes back with, no problem, Patrick. I know in his heart he thanks me. Yeah, but I did thank you at 8 minutes and 50 seconds into the show. Linda? I know she's listening. It's okay. And I know Linda listens because the way she comments, she's definitely listening. It's not like she doesn't. And by the way, it's okay not to listen. It's okay to just walk away or fade out. It's okay. It's all okay. Jeff Warner writes, this is another interesting comment from Jeff Warner. First time in 40 episodes he comments. But not that I don't appreciate it. Do your homework on Chapter 11 bankruptcy and then do a take 6. I'm sure. So he writes this. I'm sure I'll make the next show, ... I'm not sure if that's what he wanted to write, or I'm sure it'll make the next show, or I don't know what the ... means and all this other stuff. Anyway, listen, I don't know anything about bankruptcy. I don't know anything about Chapter 11. All I know is what I read from the company propaganda that they put out, and also I did some research on my own. The bottom line is I'm not worried. I am not worried because I could care less. I've gone into this job so many times in the last 6 months hoping that they fire me, or hoping they say, hey, Dave, listen, we're going to do layoffs. Would you like to take a voluntary? I'm not at the top of seniority list, but yeah, get me out of here. I'm done with truck driving. You understand? So if this company closes, I don't cry. I turn around and go, freedom. Well, how do I apply for unemployment? I know I get 26 weeks. 6 months of unemployment. 26 weeks. I already looked it up. Can I go to school? Will the New York State give me money to retrain me? I don't want to go back into another truck driving job. I'm done. I'm done truck driving at night. I'm done truck driving in the snow and ice, period. The end. Maybe I'll drive a school bus. I won't do Uber or Lyft. I don't think so. can't afford a car. I got a van. I got a really nice Caravan. It'd be an excellent for Uber. It doesn't fall under the guidelines of the whatever. Jeff Warner writes, Patrick, he thanked Linda at the 8:50 mark. You need to pay better attention to the show. Which is interesting because that's a text I actually sent to Patrick. And then I wrote to Jeff, basically, I have no need to do homework, Jeff. But thanks for listening. If you have something to say about anything, this is as good as a place as any to say it. In other words, don't look to me to do homework. I didn't do podcasting, get into podcasting so I could do homework. Oh, that's it. 21 comments. So there you go. I did a comment show. And you got 4 minutes to spare. I enjoyed reading. You know what, guys, I want to tell you. I want to thank you. I want to thank Jeff. I do want to thank Jeff. I have a feeling Jeff is like stewing. Like, I'm going to write something witty. And listen, Jeff, it's all in good fun. I think he is a fan of the show, but it's hard to tell sometimes. And Jeff is an intelligent guy. He's definitely impressed me from time to time with certain things that I know that he knows, and he's helped me out from here and there when we used to work together. So I definitely have some respect for Jeff. It's not like he's like any of these other dum-dums. You know, he's a different kind of dum-dum. No, he's a good dum-dum. A term of endearment, dum-dum. And I'm happy for him that he's found some happiness in his life away from the company that we both work for. But I want to tell you, including my comments, is 21 comments. That might be a record. That might be a milestone for my episode. 21 comments in one show. I know. I got one or two others. Oh, let me see if I can get to it. What time is it? 26. All right, hold on a second. But I want to say this, that, where's the Twitter? Hal in Philly wrote something really great. You guys really helped make up for the fact that I thought that show was slightly lackluster only because I had to do 5 takes. And you got to understand how exhausted I was. And the fact that I lost my baby. I was very hurt. I was very distraught because I lost my baby. Hal Aaron wrote on Twitter, and by the way, for those of you who share on Facebook and reshare, repost, thank you. For those of you that retweet, which is mostly Linda, thank you. But I got to tell you, if all of you could retweet, all of you could repost and share, God, I know that all of you are on Facebook, but whatever, Instagram, whatever, it'd be so great. Hal in Philly writes to, he responds to my, when I produce a show on Spreaker, it automatically posts it on Twitter. And Hal wrote, BTW, by the way, that entire Taco Bell episode was hilarious, even if it wasn't the show you wanted to do. Now, that is a definitive great retweet. Oh, by the way, was that a retweet or a comment? He actually retweeted. That was the thing I wanted to say also. So thank you, Hal, for the retweet. I got 3 retweets. One of them was Dave's Fit Life. That was me. And it won't show me the retweets? Will it? Hal in Philly, they gave me a retweet. Sweet Truth Media, they gave me a retweet. Let me just read you real quickly. Sweet Truth Media, I got from Gail Nobles, a recommendation. Sugar Shane heads this up as he is on a mission to entertain any way he can. Be on the lookout for more from him soon. That is Sugar Shane and Sweet Truth Media. And then Chronicles Podcast with a Z. Chronicles Podcast, host of the show, folks. We cover politics, sports, entertainment, etc. Artist, writer, philosopher, networker, sponsor of OTH magazine and mixtapes. Well, there you go. Thank you guys for retweeting. And for those of you who are on Twitter, thank you. Please retweet as often as possible. That really helps my Twitter algorithm. Thank you for the sharing on the Facebook. Thank you for the 20 some odd comments. Even Jeff Warner, who I think posted negatively. But that's okay because I have to have thick skin. And as negative as I think they might have been, because they might not have been, I'm open to the possibility that I'm reading it wrong. That's the danger of reading, stuff on Facebook, because you don't get the intonation. The person, he might be a little sarcastic. He might just be funny. Maybe he's serious. I don't know. But I'm glad that regardless of how Jeff Warner felt in the first time in 40 episodes, that he actually took the time to post. And I love the engagement. Negatively or positively, I like the engagement, especially if it's, mostly intelligent. Oh, man, I went over. See you guys next show. Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of Dumbing It Down with Dave. Goodbye, good day, good night, good luck, good riddance, Godspeed, good racks, and great skills. Take care.